Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review of Absolute Wonder Woman Volume 2. And, for the most part, I really enjoyed this. There was just certain kind of points where the art kind of blended in on itself, mainly coloring-wise. But otherwise than that, I really enjoyed learning more about Diana and what she's trying to do of finding, Amazons and what kind of goes on with that. So the first bit is she's somewhere in Gateway City, pretty much doing her own kind of thing, and talking about the animals and getting stuff together to do something. And God, I really like the circle artwork there. It's okay, what's going on here? Sending off little. Search far and wide for my sisters. Bring me news of them and take my message to them in turn. And then we see an undisclosed location in the western United States now. Director Veronica Kale 196. Local scan verified. Retinal scan verified. Security code approved. As she's going in this kind of Area 41. It's alright, what's going on here? As she's dealing with Dr. Poison. And pretty much they're a sentient poison cloud at this point. And has to have a suit. And they're you know what you could do? You could get me a new fucking suit. For last time I had people working on it. But I'm sure you've seen in your internal memos and the literal news, we had some major developments in the last week. I don't care about your stupid Wonder Woman. I care about a new suit so I can get some goddamn fine motor skills in here. Do you know how hard it is to do delicate experiments in this World War II relic? Try holding even a single glass test tube in these dumb hands. I dare you. If you're going to change your tune, I'm going to play something for you. Of course, utilizing the tetrasides kind of thing. It's ooh, okay, what the fuck's going on here? And it's oh, okay. Of course, one of them is trying to advocate for it, and I really love the paneling of seeing the triangles there. Great, then we're making progress. What? She's requested an exit permit. 2 hours. Fresh soil sample, she says. Approved. 2 hours, and she takes an armed guard. Of course, we see that Diana's in a place specifically, with untouched stone by human hands and stuff. Really like the circle still coming into play, as she gathers all this stuff and utilizing her blood as well. Let's see. Hecate, she of the crossroads, death and magic. Athena, wisdom in battle and beyond. Artemis, the wilderness within, the wildness within us all. Hestia, the fires of home, loyalty above all else. Aphrodite, love and passion, the hunger of life itself. Demeter, the land and life, mother of us all. And Hera, queen of the gods, eye of the future. I come to you as Diana, daughter of the sorceress Circe, witch of the wild isle, last of your beloved Amazons. I'm your weapon for truth and justice. Your will be done. As it then brings the Chiron into being. It's what the fuck's kind of going on here? Come, I made tea. It's cool. Everything here tastes incredible. I'll bet. What did you eat in the underworld? I have a suspicion it's not appropriate to talk. Appropriate talk for tea. Correct. Do you hear that? No. No. What is that? I have to go. Stay here. You'll be safer here. Here. What the hell's kind of going on? Of course, we then see that there's these little spider fucking things doing the tetrasides kind of whole kind of thing, and she utilizes her magic to bring them into targeting her, and she just fucking cracks through all of it and is able to this tech is diabolical but has many limitations. I have few. Time to take this fight to its origin. Of course, blasting up and finding Dr. Poison, and it's whoa, wait, you can't crack my ass open. Wait, Don't hit me. My name is Dr. Poison, and you're going to want to hear me out, princess. Am I? I know where you can find an Amazon. It's do. It's alright. Turn off your spiders. Bring me in. The controls are inside. No games, doctor. You have seen what I will do to save this city. Do not think yourself special. Understood. Oof. Move fast, doctor, or back out the window you go. I'm doing it, but I didn't want you to hit me because there's toxic gas in this suit. If you toss me out the window, it's sure to leak out and kill people. There, it's done. And of course, she's what the fuck is going on with this shit? It's strange. You seem angrier now than when you were fighting a skyscraper-sized monster on the beach. That was an ancient monster from another world doing only what it knew how to do. It was not a clever human harnessing dangerous weapons it doesn't understand, only to use them to purposely hurt fellow citizens. You understand the monster better than you understand humans. That's going to be interesting. Don't be a fucking dumbass. It's like... And of course, pretty much telling her to do the shit that she needs to do to bring all the shit back. And then pretty much just makes them fall into a fucking hole. It's like, yep, fuck that shit. And of course, Steve's like, you better watch out for that. It's clearly a trap. Perhaps not. There are many reasons she might want to send me in there, but I agree her motives are not pure. Even if her motives were pure, it's still a literal maze designed to keep you inside. This will hardly be my first maze, Steve, but there's nothing I wouldn't try. Nowhere I wouldn't go, even for even the faintest hope of finding a sister, let alone rescuing her. Would you simply leave me to such a fate? You see, to argue is pointless. And this is actually pretty cool, how we see, it kind of reminds me of Captain America Sentinel of Liberty, how it kind of works for the movement between panels of stuff. Even though that one didn't have, it was usually like a full page and it just showed the movement. Of course, bringing up, like, what the fuck is up with this head here? Close enough. It is related to the manticore. This one, however, has 3 heads. When slain, one head must be mounted in a place of honor in the home of its killer. Like an honor thing to remind you forever of the significance of its death? Yes, but also because it will reform twice more from the mounted head. Wait, you have to kill it again? I just love that. It's like, yeah, Mythology's got some crazy ass shit. And she's like getting prepared and like opens a doorway into Area 41. It's like, alright, I make my own doors. Ooh, this is pretty cool. I like the black pages with the red and everything there. Before the Wild Isle. Talking about how Artemis had like appeared to Diana in a dream. And of course, cursing and Diana like, what the fuck's what's that word? I'll teach it to you later. And then we go back to going into the maze. It's like, okay, this Area 41 is like a maze kind of prison thing. This is where it gets a little bit weird. I do like the red and everything first, but then we get introduced to this bull and these kind of like menfish. And it's just really kind of harder to see what's kind of going on because it's a darker kind of background and a darker kind of blue. But Diana's look and her armor and with her lasso is pretty good for the standout. So Diana sees this kind of going on and helps the bull guy, the Minotaur, even though he's like ripping people in half. He's like, holy fucking shit. Nemesis, of course, she utilizes the whip to wrap around the bull guy. She's like, it'll either prove his bring him to his knees or prove his innocence. Apologies, friend. I don't know what this is, but you have my axe, or perhaps the lasso will do. What do you fight for, friend? What do we fight for, friend? Our lives or something more? More. They want Petra. Petra? Murderers! Petra. A siren, nearly dead, but a siren nonetheless. So we see the little siren is like, okay. So it is interesting kind of paneling layout, and we do have more of the red kind of going on the blue, but the blue kind of like goes into the background. It's like, what the fuck? Of course, cracking them down. We must go. I hear more menfish close by. They'll join up and redouble their attack. If you permit me, I'll join you. Very well. Thank you for your timely assist, stranger. Diana. Ferdinand. Are we heading anywhere in particular? If we can be certain we have lost them, I have a place they have yet to find. How long have you been here? I have always been here. I'm sorry. As am I. But when it is all you know, I suppose it is easier to bear. How do you even know when you have lost when you have never had it? How indeed. I know this is hardly the time for it, but since you have always been here, I cannot think of anyone better to ask. Have you ever seen an Amazon inside the maze? Something like Clea is an Amazon, though I have seen no evidence of it other than her strength. Clea, the monster, has taken control of the maze. The woman who hunts Petra. It's not Clea. It's Queen Clea. But then, you have always had a disrespectful tongue, Ferdinand. After I've grown weary of your screams, we'll cut it out so I never have to think of you again. There is no Amazon. That is no Amazon. There's a... Oh, shit. Of course, they then start fighting. Here we get a little bit better where the fishermen are kind of glowy, so they kind of stand out a little bit more from the background. We see that Ferdinand protects them. It's like, oh shit. Go, protect Petra. Get out if you can. Do not give up, my friend. I will come back for you. Have faith. You have the promise of Diana, Witch of the Wild Isle. And I just like seeing her face there, just like, I'm coming to help you. Then, of course, we see Clea just being like, find them! As she's sprinting away with Petra. We see back to Diana's kind of trials at the Wild Isle. Pardon me, getting over a cold. Of course, we see like this giant panther with a bloody face. It's like, alright. Hello, princess. I do not have much, but what we have is yours. I will take it all. If you need it, it is yours. And I really love the paneling and effecting here, as it's trying to scare and see what's kind of going on with it. Of course, we then see it's like, you won't fight even after getting bit and everything. But then we see a turtle and it goes for it, and Diana's like, no, 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 no. Ah, there you are, Wild One. I knew I could find you. That creature's under my protection. You may not harm him, so stop me. As we then see them fighting, and then Cersei has to go out and see what's kind of going on. Diana? By Hecate! Diana, can you hear me? You'd be proud, Mama. I did good. Oh, my darling girl. This is Nico, as she protected the turtle and had it, like, grabbed close to her to protect it. Your heart shines so bright, it puts even the gods to shame. It's like, yeah, good, Diana. And then we see Hecate talking with Cersei of, like, she's... Everything we do is to fashion her into a weapon. We love the child as we love few things, but do not be confused by the reason for her existence. The very point of her is to place an undefeatable weapon into the heart of a system that must be disrupted if not destroyed. If you are trying to make a weapon, why also make her a kind little girl who feels every sling and arrow with the entirety of her being? It's unfathomably cruel. She is a little girl because men are dismissive of little girls, and thus she will be unseen. She's the kindest human being we could possibly conceive of, because that, above everything else, is what monsters do not understand. But also, she is simply herself, Cersei. I do not know that any of us could even have imagined her this way. This pure, this compassionate, this full of love. She's a miracle. We'll never understand her, and that is advantage too. But it doesn't mean she won't need to know how to fight. It is already in her. In a different, better world, it would have been allowed to blossom in a more traditional and organic way, the way of her people. This is not that better world, and so we must improvise. It's like, ooh. And of course, we then go back to the maze as she's able to buck out and return to where she has hidden her doorway, and lets Petra go out. And they're all like, what's kind of going on? Does she look dry to you, sort of? Do you think she's always blue, or is that, like, a problem we need to be concerned about? Get her some water, Steve. What? Why me? You're the one who said she looked dry. You did say that. Damn it. It's like, yeah, it's like, alright, let's see what's going on here. Ooh, I really like the effects there, as we see that Diana gets affected by these kind of flowers, and it's kind of making her kind of hallucinate some shit. It's like, oh shit. And then we get some really awesome trippy colors that kind of make up for the kind of bluish kind of background in the beginning. I see the truth of you, an Amazon, quite rare, and a prime candidate for the pit. Oh no, you don't mend fish. They prefer fishmen, actually. I'll make a note. I said into the pit with her. It's honestly amazing I was able to conquer anything with these minions. Dumb as a box of hair, every last one. I feel the drugs are lifting. I can almost think. And she's like being surrounded. It's like, shit. You fools, toss in the scientist. The Amazon will go of her own free will to protect him. And it's like, okay, they've got a scientist. They kind of look down there. It's like, I'm not trying to freak out right now. And then we, of course, get set upon by somebody else. It's like, what the fuck's going on here? And so we're back being like, shit, fuck, new issue. But she pretty much gets through with it. Can you understand me, Science Man? Yes. Go with care to the opening. I'll meet you there, and throw a few painful screams up the hole if you don't mind. Hey, no, please! Very nice. What are you going to do with us? What I always do. To the right and follow the edge of the wall. I'll be just behind you. I see you. And it's like, okay, what do you see? Yes, and this is 8 through 14 for Absolute Wonder Woman. Before the wild owl hell. Goddess, will you always be angry with me? Angry? I know you do not like how I am, that I disappoint you. No, no, princess, that is not true. You delight me, but I confess you confound me. My disciples are more like me than you are. They find me because they are responding to something in themselves that is also in me. It speaks truth to their souls, and so we understand one another well. You do not seek me out, and we do not understand one another. I'm sorry. Do not be sorry, princess. I think it's good you are not like me. You are instead like all of us. You are clever in a way that I am not. You are kind and compassionate in a way I do not even comprehend. You are creative and take a long view while I am often impatient. You are the best of all of us. And the world is lucky for this, even if it means you will always confound me with your unexpected ways. This, too, is a gift to the world. Now, take your stone and use your magic on it. What kind of magic? Make the Hydra love the stone. Seek it out. It's like, okay, what's... And this, of course, gives us back to the whole Hydra thing. And then talking about choosing the right weapons and bringing the stone back. But then she's like, I made a deal. It keeps the axe until I bring this back to her. You said I could choose the right... you said choose the right weapon. The right weapon was bargain. It's like, yes. But then we find out that they were rescued by the Amazon. It's like, oh shit. Well, that works out well for her. And then we find out it's Io and you're Diana, the daughter of our queen Hippolyta, dreamed of. Our queen Hippolyta dreamed of. Hippolyta! My Amazon mother's name is Hippolyta, the sister we all dreamed of. A miracle. The miracle is you, sister. I have dreamed of meeting a sister since I was a child. Yes, the miracle is you. Wait, why have you never met an Amazon? It's a long story. Let's see. Get out of this cursed maze. Bringing up Cersei's like, what the fuck's kind of going on with this? Of course, bringing a kind of lowdown how others have pretty much come down in the pit. Let's see. When Clea and her minions threw me down here, I found a nightmare even worse than the maze above, if you can believe it. Over time, with the help of other survivors, we built it into a real community. It's still a nightmarish prison, there's no escaping that, but we called it New Hope because that's what it represented for us. Even if that new hope was only the hope that we might now survive long enough to free ourselves. And of course, they've been digging around. They have some tunnels that have collapsed, but they've also found other ones that they're trying to kind of get out. And she's like, I've got this. I mean, she's even kind of tattooed herself with the kind of maze map that they've got. It's like, yeah, that tracks. Talking about having an exit and everything like this. It's like, they find the whole stuff with the kind of tunnel that had flooded with seawater. An Amazon could survive this. Io could have broken through and simply swum to her freedom. Instead, she stayed with these people for decades so as to not abandon them. I've always believed that the family I was stolen from was great and worthy. Pardon me? Confirmation of this long-held belief washes over me with a power that nearly brings me to my knees. Of course, bringing that she's making an immunity for herself, she's got to go find Ferdinand and help him. And they come up with their own kind of plan. And telling Io to tell Hippolyta and her sisters, I love them and will never stop searching for them. Of course, she's doing some kind of stuff, and then something like trying to come to her aid. It's like, alright, what the fuck's kind of going on here? Of course, Clea's got that whole kind of spear thing kind of going on, and that becomes important later on because it's like she gets the actual true trident. Pardon me. So we get Diana kind of getting knocked up by Clea and screaming about where her siren is. We then see Steve pretty much put her in the water, and she kind of gets up and starts kind of like going, oh. It's like, oh, at least she's doing better. So Diana then takes this the trident kind of thing out and chucks it down into the hole, saying you're not getting it back. Just you're getting it back, but not as you imagine. Getting the trident of like Poseidon is like, ooh shit. Which is actually, this is a pretty cool artwork because we see like it more as a flowing thing of water, which That works out pretty badass. And then just kind of like taking out as many as possible and getting Ferdinand into a better kind of position. As Clea's like, you stole my staff, now you claim my Trine of Poseidon? None of those things belong to you, Clea, and that, not me, is why you could not possess them. Find Io. When Io exits the maze, seal it behind her. Tossing, of course, the rock that then kind of leads Ferdinand on. Of course, then just using the fundamentals of like how her combat kind of fights on, getting some crazy kind of paneling, tilting everywhere there. As we see everybody pretty much get out. Ferdinand being like she's got a different kind of plan in place. Ooh, that's kind of crazy as everything's kind of shaking. And they like, get out. But this Petra is doing her song. Petra, I'm here. It's okay. It's okay. We're free now. And it's all going to be okay. As he kind of comforts her. And she kind of comes down. Of course, Diana's like, yeah, there's an opening in the maze. You can just like swim the fuck out. As she's like, blasted that out, and that worked out pretty well for him. It's like, all right, everybody's free. She worked it out. So it was nice to see that Diana was able to kind of get through this and in a, I mean, yes, there was violence involved, but in a more kind of peaceful way. Pardon me for that. Oh. Allergies. Changing seasons. Of course, Io gets out, and the thing goes kind of go boo. It's like, what the fuck? But Diana is able to be in Gateway City, and then just kind of like flies off. We do see that Clea and the rest of the fishermen have swam off. Of course, she set foot in the maze. I don't know how to explain it. There was a lightning bolt. She was just gone. And it's like, what the hell is kind of going on with the Amazons here? Hecate, if I've ever pleased you even once, a sign that she still lives, please. And we, of course, then do see a sign. Well, that's quite fucking biblical. Oh, thank you, goddess. As we see a bird fly down with a little branch. It's like, oh, that's cool. We then shift over to Io, and she's put somewhere. It's like, what the fuck's kind of going on? Io? By Hera. Io. It's like, oh, shit. Hippolyta. Bless you, Hera. Hippolyta, my queen. We feared we had lost you forever, Io. Hippolyta, I've seen her. I've seen Diana. She lives. Diana. Ring the bells, Io. Ring the bells! She's alive. Diana lives. The mascara now. Diana lives. And everybody's like, yay. It's like, wow, that's kind of cool. I really do like Hippolyta's design. It's like, ooh, cool. And of course, losing... as a result, the maze in the entire lower level has been lost to us. It's like, ooh, okay. And she's kind of pissed off at Poison. Estimate for the repair work to shore it up so we don't lose the entire facility. It's a number that rivals the gross national product of several impressive nations. So, since you're responsible for this, tell me again why I don't just vacuum you up into the vents, Dr. Poison, because you need me, Kale, as ever. And I need a new goddamn suit. Do I need you, though? Are you certain you haven't outlived your usefulness? If that were true, you'd have put me in one of your prison containment cells already. But you don't fear that possibility. Is that wise? I don't fear that day, but you should, because the day you try to put me in there is the day you die, Kale. Of course. Giving her a new suit, but it's a Gen 1. And she's like, her being angry is the only thing making me happy right now. As we see Area 41, Project SS1. As we see more kind of Wonder Woman villains. We see like a cheetah tail. As well as other things kind of going on. It's like, alright, let's see what's going on there. And then she goes to one of the other ones. It looks like you're finally going outside after all, Zatanna. Because I'm going to send you to kill a witch. It's like, ooh, shit. We got glare, but we got there. All right. Then we get some different kind of artwork here as we shift off a little bit. Let's see. Learning about the mascara and what goes on with the Amazons. Let's see. bringing up the whole thing with the word Amazon being different, and then seeing her trying to help all this stuff kind of going on with what's going on with the system. What's happening? Diana asked me to hook the Hyron up to the breaking international news reports so they will autoplay when they occur. Clever, assuming it doesn't drive her mad. The price. And this is interesting because we see something kind of bouncing around and creating havoc and destruction. And we see that Diana's trying to stop it, but it kind of starts affecting her, making her kind of more negative. And this is definitely interesting and works within the realm of this kind of art style. I like seeing the white pages with just the minimalist kind of paneling, panel bordering of what's going on as she's dealing with this kind of elemental kind of force kind of thing. Let me see. I cannot lose myself. It runs. The aggression I feel makes it all but impossible not to give chase, and so I succumb and give chase. Is that it? Is that its plan? Does it have plans? As we see kind of what's going on, it keeps going on. They're trying to look into more of the Amazons. Bringing up like the Amazons never leaving their dead behind, or that they couldn't be killed. So she kind of keeps going around, seeing it kind of doing weird kind of spots and places that are kind of linked with the Amazons, and getting even people pointing to where the thing has been going, as she's trying to pummel it, it going around to the Dominican Republic, Mexico, Hawaii. This thing is infuriating. It is possibly strong and fast, communicates nothing, and emits the foulest dark energy the second you get near it. It's bringing out the worst in me. I noticed when you and Barbara were talking about ancient Amazon battle sites that some of them are the same locations you've been fighting in tonight. It's okay, and then she kind of figures it out. It's alright, let's see where I can get to it next. All magic is a price, Barbara, and the kind of magic Diana does, I suspect the price is quite heavy. But what does that mean, Gia? It can mean all kinds of things. I'll make more tea. Etta has crime board eyes. Put on the coffee instead. She knows me too well. Of course, they kind of work throughout the whole kind of thing with the crime board and everything. But it's always night somewhere, so why no attacks? But Etta figured out that maybe it was hitting areas that were more remote. No humans to report the sightings. A reasonable assumption if unproven. And we found ancient battle records in remote areas of Greenland, Ireland, Greece, Russia, Mongolia, China, and Australia that back up that theory. You've done fantastic work, ladies. I am in your debt. And of course, she goes to Delphi, as we see what's kind of going on with this strange entity creature, which is pretty much a dark mirror of her. Pretty much trying to link up, every good thing she does, this thing tries to balance it out by doing bad. Kind of similar along the lines of, Sentry and the Void. It's the price the world is paying for me. Then we just, switch into the next one. It's oh, shit. She's this is how it would end? I can't affect it, but almost nothing seems to slow it down. Ooh, damn, look at that, just... Now we get kind of more black and everything. So we see her kind of knocked out, but then we see, Zatanna trying to do something of binding Diana to her. By heck, she's doing binding magic on me. I have to stop her? Well, that's not good. As it kind of gets stopped and spirited kind of away. It's what the hell's going on here? Of course, she's I've solved the puzzle. The answer is my death. Well, that's great. Actually, I didn't solve the puzzle. Gia did. Me? Yes, when trying to explain magic to Etta and Barbara, you noted that it always comes with a price. This creature, it's as if this creature is the price for my existence. If you think of me as a gift to the forces of good in this world, then a magic that demands a counter. So a gift is given to the forces of evil in this world. In this case, it seems to have formed as some kind of inverse of me. And I think it cannot be defeated so long as I exist. If I exist, it exists. And it's I'm sorry, that's fucking insane. And it's what? No, it's no, the world's really goddamn fucked up. Laying it out like that. Bad people are, for the most part, in charge of the world, Diana. Things get worse every day. Billionaires with their boots on the necks of the vulnerable. Villains that crowdsource murder. Corporations that poison unchecked. Governments that run secret experiments in ancient underground mazes. Tech companies surveilling everything and everyone. How on earth is any of that balanced? If anything, you are long overdue as balance the world is crying out for. You're right, Gia. Hecate and all the goddesses, their talk is often cryptic, sometimes straight up riddles, but they nearly always note that the world is out of sync. Darker than it is supposed to be. More hopeless, justice too rare, too fleeting. Hell yeah. But what can we do? This is everything I can find on... Wait, what did I miss? We'll explain later. So, of course, she then races off to kind of deal with this fucking thing. To call a god such as this, I will need to bleed profusely. Pretty much going on and calling on Gaia, Mother Earth, to kind of deal with this thing. Let's see. A ripple of fear burns right through me. Gaia is no god to be trifled with. Grandmother of the gods most mortals know. She's one of the oldest of them, and I pray the wisest. Yeah, you always kind of got to watch out for that. And then, kind of going through, she at first is getting wrapped up by like these tendrils, and is like, oh, fuck, shit. And then she's like, I'm sorry. She's got to submit for it. And then coming into supplication, and she's like, all right, cool. And then we see Gaia, and it's like, whoa, okay, that's some crazy ass shit. You do not belong here, Diana Themyscira. Apologies, goddess. I felt I had no choice. Humans are quick to say that. I hear your request, but I cannot help you. The world has sought to correct the imbalance that you bring, and I cannot object to that. With respect, goddess, I feel the world has been tricked. Tricked? It's like, okay. I would never lie to a god, but I do choose my words with care. Gods hate to be tricked. Yeah. With respect, goddess, the world is not in balance. The existence of me and others like me is long overdue, I'm afraid. And even with us, any balance is a long way from being restored. There is imbalance in this world, but I don't believe I am the aberration. If you take a closer look for yourself, I think you will see. It's bold to suggest you know the world better than I, as I am the world. Sometimes, goddess, the closer we are to something, the harder it can be to see. And then Gaia sees it like, oh, fucking shit. Well, you are right, Diana Themyscira. Something is wrong with the world, and has been for a very long time, maybe since the very beginning. There's a darkness I do not quite understand. Raise your eyes to me, Princess of Hell. Stand. You will fight this darkness. Yes, goddess. You will give your life in my name, with pleasure. So be it. The trip back is certainly easier, as we see a fucking hand thrust her out of the ground. It's like, yeah? Of course, we then see the thing looking on at her, and it's like, oh shit, aye! As it gets dragged out, it's like, It is just a bundle of chaotic magic fashioned into an angry shape. And an inverse of me who feels everything, surely an inverse feels nothing. I hope that is right in whatever it was, that it will be at peace for being disassembled. But no thing likes to be unmade. Very true. As of course, we then see them kind of working on, and I kind of like seeing the kind of red there. It's like, ooh, cool. Diana, you're back. You're alright? Alright, we'll need to do heavy lifting, but yes. You want to talk about it? The creature is gone, destroyed by Gaia. Gaia like the Earth? The one and only. Fuck, indeed. It's like, yeah. Also, I may have been cursed by a beautiful witch. I wish she'd told me her name. She seemed to know most of mine. It's like, yeah, that kind of like tracks on that kind of shit. There's power names, or so you tell me. I appreciate that you're listening. I had some interesting meetings with the military while you were away. It's going to be a problem, Diana. We knew it would be, one thing at a time. Speaking of, did you have any success with the jump drive my maze scientist left with us? I did. There's a lot of information here about you. More than I would have expected. But there's more details on the Batman, Superman, and the others. Steven, turn the sound back on. In Gotham City, a strange burning mark left on the wall near the latest victim. Is that? Yes, it's the mark of Hecate. It's like, ooh, shit. Bringing us into Diana having to deal with Gotham. It's like, ooh, shit. So, I overall like this of Diana, having the next stage of her quest being to try and find the Amazonians, getting a lead, and then that lead being like thunder crack back to Themyscira, where it was cool to see her mom and being like, yay, my daughter's alive. The fish people were kind of crazy, and of course getting into the Atlanteans and everything, and I liked how Diana resolved that by getting a fucking shrine to like Poseidon and kind of flying off like whoa, whoa, whoa. But also letting Clea and her fishmen free while still being able to rescue Ferdinand and Petra. It wasn't easy, but I liked that she was able to do that. She still had her fisticuffs to deal with, but that worked out pretty well. And then seeing that her actions are having consequences with like that magic inverse for her, and having Zatanna put into the field of fighting her, that'll be different and interesting, because I don't know that much about Zatanna. I know that she's one of the premier kind of magical ones in the DC universe. But it'll be interesting to see how she kind of works out and plays around in here. And then, of course, linking us up into, of course, Absolute Batman and Absolute Superman. And linking us more with Gotham and the Sigil of Hecate being used in there. So I was like, ooh, okay. I do know that Wonder Woman and Absolute Wonder Woman and Absolute Batman do team up in certain kind of issues, kind of after this. So that's going to be really cool to look forward to. I do like how Diana is a compassionate one, and we keep getting that hammered home where even in her test with, I think, Artemis, she decides to protect the turtle that she names Nico. And I'm like, I really love that she doesn't like to do violence, but she will do what she can to protect people and help people. And even if the people that she's trying to help are fighting her, she does figure out a way to kind of work with that. Dr. Poison will be interesting. I did kind of like the introduction for her, trying to utilize the Tetracide. It's like, you fuckers, this thing would have been like a world-ending thing, and you are fucking trying to you fucking assholes with those mech spiders. It's like, you stupid assholes. So we'll definitely see how that kind of works out. Yeah, I overall really do like the art. It was just the coloring made it really weird to kind of differentiate what was kind of going on, and just kind of makes it a little bit quote-unquote blurry. But then when Diana was fucking tripping on those fucking weird-ass hallucinogenic things, those had better kind of contrast and details than that other one, which kind of confuses you when you're like, oh god, I'm tripping those balls and shit. Motherfucker, what the fuck's got going on here? But if you liked the first volume, I think you would like this one, and I enjoyed this and can't wait to see where we go next with Absolute Wonder Woman. So those are my opinions on the volume. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.